Vibe Conversations.
You are now listening to
High Vibe Conversations.
Hello, my name is Tawana Chamberlain, and I am your host for this new podcast called High Vibe Conversations. We just want to talk to people about what they are doing to stay motivated, positive, to remain hopeful and inspired during this time of quarantine. So, this will just be a mixer, if you will, a virtual mixer. And I will have some of my friends who are professionals and thought leaders in their industry. People who like to stay close to the light in terms of positivity and to bring joy to people, to bring hope and inspiration. We just want to keep the conversations on a high vibe, a higher frequency, and not give way to a lot of the negativity that we hear on the news or just with things going on around the globe in general. There is so much with coronavirus, COVID 19, and the global pandemic. And we are currently finding our ways through this new normal. So I just wanted to create a podcast, a safe space where I could bring people on, like minded individuals, kindred spirits, to talk about how to remain hopeful and positive and optimistic and still productive at this time of quarantine and isolation. So I hope you'll enjoy the podcast. And we'll get started in just a moment with my special guest for this episode, Mr. Nate Patterson. Nate is an accomplished businessman. He is the owner of a Culture of Excellence LLC and also the Chief Engagement Officer. He is also the owner of Patterson Marketing Group and the managing partner. He is on the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce, Board of Directors, and Executive Committee for the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. He has a myriad of professional experiences and a wealth of knowledge to share with us on this episode. So without further ado, I am going to jump right into my interview with Mr. Nate Patterson on High Vibe Conversations. Keep it locked right here.
High Vibe Conversations.
And we are back with a episode of the High Vibe Conversations podcast. And I am here with a special guest for this episode. So excited because he and I have been trying to connect professionally for quite some time since he moved away from the Tampa Bay area. So this was the perfect opportunity because he has a lot going on, a lot of projects coming up. So I want to introduce to you all a very, very savvy businessman and professional, Mr. Nate Patterson. Mr. Patterson is a native of Mobile, Alabama. His business acumen was developed by successfully turning around underperforming business units for Los Angeles Times, Scan Health Plan, and Target stores, developing high-performing marketing and sales teams for HMOs, and creating highly acknowledged inside sales units for wireless and insurance firms. As a serial entrepreneur, I think I like that, Mr. Patterson, a serial entrepreneur that you are. He began as a teen, acquiring and merging newspaper delivery routes until he was managing over 20 personnel. He later founded and grew several businesses, including a concert promotion firm, a janitorial services company, construction cleanup, appraisal services, a marketing firm, and a newly founded training firm, a Culture of Excellence LLC. Mr. Patterson advocates. I'm not finished yet, brother. This is impressive. Let me continue, please, and thank you. Mr. Patterson advocates for small businesses, community and economic development, and business incubators, serving on over 25 board of directors, regional and national leadership councils. His new company, A Culture of Excellence, LLC, is an evolution from consulting to author coach, public speaker, and trainer. Mr. Patterson stated, in my corporate positions, I was allowed to recruit, hire, and train my own employees. It taught me the value of relationships, creating awesome experiences, and challenging the status quo. My mission is to inform and inspire entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. I believe that a mastery of emotional intelligence and relationships is a critical key to implementing career development and business growth strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to officially welcome my special guest for this episode, Mr. Nate Patterson. Nate, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I was trying to figure out who that guy is, man. That sounded good.
Please stop being so modest. You have accomplished so much, and you've done so much in your career, which is why I knew that you would be an excellent guest for this podcast. And we like to inspire on High Vibe Conversations, and that seems congruent with your business model and your mission statement and what you are trying to accomplish with your company. So I want you to talk to our listeners who may be seeking inspiration right now during this time of isolation and quarantine. I mean, this pandemic is just unprecedented. We haven't seen anything like this before. So I wanted you to share your wisdom and knowledge with us to help us kind of navigate it through these uncharted territory or these uncharted waters here. So, again, I thank you so much. I know you're busy, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with me today. So I'm going to just jump right into the interview here with the first question, and that is, what are some things that you are doing to remain positive and productive during this time of quarantine?
Well, really, I'm into healthy eating and living, and that's been in metamorphosis of about 5 years, really 10 years, because it started when I was about to leave Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. And I thought, man, I love that waterfront, so I started walking every day, getting up at 5. So I got up, I was doing 7 miles a day. I came back home to take care of Mom, and then Mom was doing all that good cooking. I blew up again. Right. So really what I'm doing now is focusing more on the healthy eating and living. Primarily eat fish, veggies, yellow rice, a lot of tea and water. So I've increased my exercise, and I'm trying to just keep it toned. And I find out with myself, and I've heard this from other people, that with a fit body, your mind operates even better, and it's on 120% every day.
That's awesome, and that's very impressive. And I haven't seen you in person, but I've been seeing some of your new pictures on Facebook, and whatever you're doing is great. It's working out for you. So that I know that, staying active and eating healthy and exercising, that's key, and that's going to help us right now, too, with strengthening our immune system, especially with all that we're dealing with right now with COVID-19. So let me ask you another question. What advice would you give to others to uplift them?
Well, one of the things when you're reading, as I grew up young, I always read a lot about successful people. And one of the habits that always stuck with me that, people don't like to do it so much, but I'm an early riser. So when I say early riser, I'm up at 5:30 in the morning. And the first thing in the morning that uplifts me, I go immediately into prayer, praise, meditation. And then I reevaluate my daily priorities. Because I feel like if you set your spirit right, then your attitude will gain momentum with others. And you're very focused. You got some clarity in your what you're doing during the day.
Amen. I concur. That's really good, and that's what we really need right now, to have clear, focused minds. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. You got to have You have to have focus in your vision and clarity in your communication.
Well, come on now. I know that's right. That's good. That's almost like a tweetable. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this so that I can write that one down. That's good. I like that one, Nate. So let me ask you something that's a little more introspective. What have you learned about yourself during this coronavirus crisis?
Look, we all need to sit down and do a deep cleanse. And what I decided to do the first few days, I didn't want to make any plans. I just got to know who Nate Patterson was.
Mm-hmm.
I dug deep and looked at my strengths and weaknesses. And, you know, we always celebrate our strengths. So I had to look at my weaknesses again, started looking at my habits and things. And one thing that I really noticed I did, I've not practiced what I preach. I preach to my clients to evolve. And I felt like a garage mechanic. I know what to do, but I didn't do it until I was forced to. So presently, what I'm wound up doing is I'm moving my business model online. So now people will be able to go and get classroom instruction, seminars, webinars, and books and columns. They'll be able to access it.
Awesome. So you were able to pivot and just understand the power of knowing how to, like you said, change that business model, because right now we aren't able to have those in-person meetings and attend.
I had to change my business model because when this all came down, the week before my birthday was March 22nd. So the week before my birthday, I'm getting ready to celebrate. Here comes my season. Season coming in speak. All of a sudden, I lost, now I'm looking at it, I lost 32 speaking engagements.
Wow.
That wiped me out for the summer. Yeah.
Now that's putting it into perspective from a real place, because this is not just stuff you hear on the news. These are statistics you can read on social media. This is something that happened to you personally.
Oh, yeah.
So just like in a matter of almost no time flat, you had to realize that all of your speaking engagements, did you say 32?
32.
Wow.
32.
Worldwide. So can I ask you something a little personal, because this isn't on the script. I'm going to go off the script. If you don't want to answer, then just don't. But what did that do to you, like, intrinsically? Like, did you really have to, like, pep yourself up and motivate yourself even more so? Because that seems like a devastating blow when your entire calendar gets wiped out because of what this pandemic has caused. And I don't believe that you are alone. I believe that a lot of business owners, especially small business owners, emerging entrepreneurs, and creative artists, have seen gigs canceled and speaking engagements canceled, and just abruptly, without much warning at all. But what does that do to your inner man? What does that do to your psyche, your emotional well-being? Because you were talking about the mind first. Like, how did you process all of that and decide, you know what, I'm going to emerge from this greater?
Well, the first thing I thought about, even though this is a pandemic, this is nothing new. A crisis is a crisis.
Right.
So immediately my mind went back to 2 points in my life.
Mm-hmm.
3 points. One, early in my career, I was homeless, sleeping in a park. What did I do to turn that around? Second one, I came back. The .com era. You remember when everything crashed in 1998?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay. All right, so we roll with it. Then the third one, we had the recession when I was in Tampa Bay.
Right.
You got that? So, okay,
I do.
what about what I came up with, what did I learn from those three things? What did I learn from those three things? And what I learned is basically what I mentioned first. Don't panic and stay focused.
Right.
First thing you got to do, you got to know that every opportunity, that's a solution to every opportunity. Now, it's a matter of whether you want to pay the price for that solution or you want to follow through. So I decided, I don't have time to panic. I don't have time to feel sorry. I got bills due. I got enough maybe to last me 45 days.
Right.
So I got bills due. So I got to figure out how I'm going to make this happen. So the first thing I did is got my mind and body right.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got that right, okay, then I researched the market and look at what's out there. What are people paying for? What do they want? What do my audience really need? I know who my core audience is. I know what they want. So I'm looking at their lifestyles and values. What can I create that's going to increase value for them that they will want me to come into their lives? Mm-hmm. And based on that, everything was online. So then I contacted my LinkedIn network and told them, look, everything's canceled for me. I'm open. I'm willing to, y'all tell me what you want me to do. And I started getting people from Ghana, Canada, UK, California, Alaska, telling me, hey, I got something for you. And since then I've been doing so many conferences online and Zoom and everything else. Calling. Yeah. So I'm
so amazing. That is so amazing how you turned a negative or a situation that is it's not easy. It's challenging, but you decided not to let it take you under. You decided to level up and become a better version of yourself. And I think that's so powerful. And that gave me hope. So hopefully it will encourage other entrepreneurs to really do the research. You said one of my favorite words.
What's so funny about it is that I panicked more after I made all the decisions. So while beforehand, I said, I got to figure this out. Once I figured it out, then I took a deep breath and said, oh, God, I lost almost everything. But now I'm so fired up that, man, this is taking me into a whole new direction. And I don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be better than before.
I love it. Now, see, that's what High Vibe Conversations is all about. That's what's up, Nate. Better than ever before. And that's really all about a mindset and a paradigm shift and being malleable and flexible right now and creative, right? So
you say all those big words. I love that. Say all them big words.
You're so funny. You're so funny. But I just really like that, and I know that people are inspired to hear you say things like that. And so I know you have a lot going on. You just mentioned it. Can you tell me about some projects coming up? I know you did a webinar earlier today, and then you have something special happening in the morning. Can you tell our listeners about what that is?
Well, in the morning, I sit on the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce here in Mobile, Alabama. I love Chamber of Commerce. It's
Me too.
a good opportunity to network. But in the morning, I want to go over something called 7 Lessons Learned, Elevating Above Crisis. And from those 3 points that I was telling you about earlier, what did I learn from that in order to apply to what we're going through now in order to go to that next level? And we're going to talk about it. So it's a call-in program. If you want to call in, can I give them the number?
Yes, please.
Okay. If you want to call in, it's area code 760-548-9957, and the PIN number is 578-6916#.
Okay.
So, and we'll talk about, what I learned over those 7 lessons, primarily, especially with this $8 billion merger I was part of, and I'm going to tell you how we worked through that, man, and some of the things that I learned.
Okay. Awesome. This is wonderful. Now tell me the time. I missed the time.
Oh, okay. The time is at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay, wonderful. Well, you can count me in because whenever you're talking, I want to listen because, again, you have a wealth of knowledge and so much experience, and you know exactly what small business owners and entrepreneurs and the community in general needs to hear for such a time as this. So can you give us that telephone number one more time and that PIN number one more time? Okay,
let me go back. You caught me there. Here it is. Got it on the screen here.
See, I knew you were ready.
Area code 760-548-9957, and the PIN number is 578-6916#.
Awesome, and we will be there 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Nate, can you tell me, too, how can our listeners connect to you? What are your social media handles, or what's the best way for them to reach you if they want to have some of your business services offered to them?
Well, I'll tell you, let me give you a toll-free number you can call, and that's 877-351-4698.
Okay.
But if you're on social media, I got the basics going for you. If you're looking for motivation, contact me on Facebook, Nathaniel Patterson.
Okay.
If you're looking for career development, professional development, get me on LinkedIn. Got 28,000 plus followers there, Nathaniel Patterson. Okay.
Awesome.
And then if you're looking for small business tip, catch me on Twitter at NPattersonNP2.
Love it. Love it. And this call that you're having, this is open to anyone who really wants personal and professional development. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And before we close out the interview, is there anything else that you want to say to our listeners, be it advice, be it motivation, be it a business tip, be it inspiration? Is there anything that you would like for our listeners to take away from our interview today?
Let's talk about 2 things. One, and it's always been my belief, because I've been an observer and studying successful people. Success is not about brilliance at all.
Okay.
And that's what people go wrong. It's really about a mastery of relationships, resilience, and resources. So if we focus on developing positive relationships and stay resilient with our plans, we'll gather the resources we need to move ahead. And that's really what success is.
Yes.
And the other point is that really you got to know that failure is inevitable. It's going to happen. So we have to learn from it. And we know that's the buzz now, learn from it. But recurring failure means you're not learning.
That's right.
So we got to focus in on that. And I think that's the observation that we have to make. I mean, it sounds, like a pretty little saying, but it's truth in that, is that you can't keep making the same mistake. It's all right to have failure.
That's
but
right.
I found that most people are not really scared of failure itself or failing on a project. They're really scared of what people are going to say about them.
Come on now. See, now you're preaching. That's real talk. You're right. The perception. What exactly? What will they be saying about me? You're exactly right. And can I say something else I've noticed on this little journey of mine? Some people aren't afraid of failure necessarily, but they are afraid of success. Because, see, success has different requirements. It has discipline, and you actually have to show up on time. And when you show up on time, you actually have to do the work. So now there's accountability that's built into that. And some people are accustomed to playing it safe. You understand what I'm saying? Being in the comfort zone, not coming out of the box.
You're talking my language.
I'm just saying, so really it's not the fear of failure, it's the fear of success. What will success require of me? How will I have to level up? How will I have to become a better version of myself in order to maintain this level of success? And a lot of people, if they are honest with themselves, that's what they're more afraid of. The discipline and the accountability and the responsibility that comes with actually being consistently successful. As they say, success is intentional, right?
Check this out. This is my closing.
Okay.
All right. Communication, which is clarity, and habits are the foundations to success. Focus and relationships are the drivers to success. Resilience and resources are the momentum. Gross margin and revenue sustain success, but evolving always makes sure you're relevant.
Come on now, and we will close right there. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Patterson. Nate, to me,
I appreciate the opportunity.
You. Yes. Well, thank you.
Let me say something about you right quick. You're on fire.
Oh,
you're on fire. You're on fire.
I appreciate that. I'm just trying to, just do whatever little part I can in the midst of all of this to inspire people and to hopefully make them smile and make their heart feel warm and feel joy, and not let the enemy steal their joy in the midst of it. So that's where I am, and that's where I'm going to stay planted because I know who I am and whose I am. So, Nate, it was my pleasure. This was wonderful, and I would love to have you back again because I just learned so much from you right then. So I know if I continue to listen, I'll learn more, but I will be on that call in the morning. So thank you so much for being a special guest on this podcast, High Vibe Conversations, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of High Vibe Conversations, the podcast that strives to spread peace and positivity in the midst of this pandemic.
High Vibe Conversations. Vibe Conversations.